My name is Emily Carter. I am 36. I live in a small house with white walls and a mango tree outside the kitchen window. I loved my husband, Michael Carter. He was quiet, polite, and he smiled like he kept a secret joke inside. When he left, he told everyone he was going away for business. He kissed my forehead and said, "I will be back in 2 weeks." He packed a black bag and left at dawn. Before I begin, if you like real emotional stories like this, please hit subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter. Also, tell me in the comments which part of the country you are watching from. I want to know who is with me as I tell this. Okay, now listen. The most shocking moment happened on the third night after he left. I was sitting alone on the sofa. The house felt too big and too quiet. The mango tree made soft noises against the window. I kept thinking about his last words. 2 weeks. It is strange how short a sentence can feel like a promise and a trap at the same time. At midnight, I could not sleep. I went to the kitchen to make tea. On the counter, under the fruit bowl, I found a small envelope I had never seen before. My name was written on it in Michael's handwriting. My heart jumped. I picked it up with fingers that felt like cold wood. Inside was a single sheet of paper and a key tied with red string. The paper had only 3 words in big, messy handwriting. When you find out. There was no other note. I held the key until it warmed. It was heavy and old. It had a tag with a number. Unit 27B. My mind raced. Unit. Storage. What was Michael hiding in a storage unit? I felt both afraid and certain I should know. I went to his study, the room where he kept his laptop, his books, and the small globe he liked to spin. His suitcases were gone. His shoes were gone. There were no signs he had taken anything else, except a small, folded photograph tucked in the corner of the desk. The photograph showed a small girl, about 5 years old, smiling at the camera. She had thick braids and a missing front tooth. On the back, in Michael's handwriting, were the words, "For when the truth comes out." My hands shook so hard I dropped the photo. It slid under the desk and I had to crawl on the floor to reach it. The world felt tilting, like the mango tree had turned the sky, and everything would fall. I sat on the floor and pressed the photograph to my chest. I remembered the morning he left, his goodbye, his 2-week business trip. I kept telling myself he must be somewhere, working, taking a meeting, eating a sandwich in a different city. But the photograph and the key said something else. They said there were things he had not told me. Big things. I wanted to call him. I wanted to call his phone. But his number went straight to voicemail. I left a message and my voice sounded thin to me. "Michael, please call me. Where are you?" I said it 3 times and hung up. The house swallowed my words. The next day I tried to sleep. I could not. At 7 in the morning I put on a jacket and drove to the storage facility on Pine Road. The building was small and smelled like dust. The man behind the counter looked at me carefully when I gave him the number. "Unit 27B?" he asked. "Yes," I said. My voice felt like a small bird. He handed me a ring of keys. "You will need to sign," he said. I signed my name in a book. He did not know I had Michael's key. I walked down a long hallway of metal doors. Each door had a little padlock and a number. When I found 27B, my heart beat hard as if someone was knocking from inside. The key from the envelope fit on the first try. The padlock clicked and the door lifted with a sigh. Dust floated in a thin curtain. The room smelled like cloth and old paper. At first it looked like many rooms I have seen in movies. Boxes, suitcases, furniture stacked like a small town. Then I saw a small wooden crib. It was polished, as if someone had kept it clean for a baby who visited. In the crib was a tiny pair of sandals, the kind a 5-year-old would wear. Near the crib, on a small table, lay a passport. My fingers trembled as I picked it up. It had Michael's face inside, but the name printed on the passport was not Michael Carter. It was Michael Davis, a different last name. The passport had several stamps from another country, places I had never heard him talk about. My chest tightened so hard I could not breathe. Why would he have 2 last names? Why would he have a crib here? Why a passport with other stamps? The small sandals lay like a question on the crib mattress. I moved further in and found a box of letters tied with a blue ribbon. The top letter had a child's drawing on the envelope, the same braids and the same missing tooth from the photograph I had found at home. The letter inside was folded carefully. I opened it with trembling fingers. The handwriting was uneven, like a child practicing. The letter read, "Dear Daddy, I miss you. When are you coming to see me? Mommy says you are busy. Love. Layla." Layla. The name hit me like cold water. My head filled with 1,000 small noises. I did not know Michael had a daughter. I did not know he had another life. I put the letter down and my legs felt like lazy ropes. Then I found a small sealed envelope with a typed note inside, dated 3 days before he left. The note had an address and a flight booking. The flight was for today, a flight from our city to a small town overseas. Beside it was a photo of Michael smiling next to a woman I did not know. In the picture, he held a little girl who looked exactly like him. My throat closed. I sat down on an old chair and the room spun. I clutched the passport and the letters and the photograph and thought of all the nights we had shared. Was every smile half true? How could he leave for a business trip, while he had a daughter waiting in another country? Had he planned this? Was he running towards something or away from us? My skin prickled. I wanted answers. I wanted him to come home and explain everything. I wanted him to stand in the doorway and tell me this was all a mistake. But when I tried to call him again, his phone still went to voicemail. I turned the passport pages slowly, as if the paper could whisper truth. There, tucked between pages, was a small, folded note in Michael's handwriting. It said, "Emily, I never meant to hurt you. If you read this, please forgive me. I will explain. M." My eyes filled with tears, but the note had no real explanation. Only the crib, the letters, the passport with another name, and a flight booked for today. As I stood to leave, a faint sound came from the far end of the storage unit, the sound of another door opening. For a second, I thought it was only my imagination. Then I heard a soft voice, a child's voice, whispering, "Daddy." My heart hammered. I slowly walked toward the sound, the sandals in my hand and the passport heavy in my pocket. The voice whispered again, clearer this time, "Daddy, are you there?" I pushed aside a stack of boxes. Behind them, in the dim light, I saw a small girl in a sundress, peeking from behind an old trunk. She had Michael's eyes. She had his smile. She looked frightened and hopeful. Before I could speak, my phone buzzed. A new message from an unknown number popped up. "He is on his way. Don't make a sound." The room felt too small. The air felt too heavy. Then the metal shutter behind me began to rise. Someone was opening the main door. I froze. The little girl covered her mouth. The sound echoed through the building. The metal shutter rolled upward with a slow, grinding sound, each inch scraping against my nerves. The little girl's wide eyes glowed in the dim light, and she pressed herself tighter against the trunk. My heart felt like it was bouncing inside my throat. I didn't breathe. I didn't move. I held the tiny sandals in one hand, the passport in the other, like they were the only things keeping me standing. Footsteps entered the hallway. Heavy. Slow. The kind of steps people take when they already know where they're going. The girl whispered again, trembling, "Daddy." But the footsteps didn't match Michael's pace. I knew my husband's walk. These steps were heavier, older. My phone buzzed again. A second message from the same unknown number. "Hide." That single word hit me so hard I almost dropped the passport. I grabbed the girl's hand. It was cold and small. "Come with me," I whispered. She hesitated, but she followed. I pulled her behind a tall shelf filled with old boxes. The metal door of the storage unit next to ours creaked open. Someone stepped inside. I could hear breathing, deep and steady, too close. I covered the girl's mouth gently. She didn't fight. The man's shadow stretched across the floor, long and sharp. His boots stopped just a few steps from our hiding place. He stood still, like he was listening. I held my breath until my lungs burned. After several slow seconds, he turned and walked deeper into the hallway. The footsteps faded. The building door slammed shut behind him. The little girl whispered, "Are you Daddy's friend?" I shook my head. "No, I'm..." But my voice broke. She looked at the sandals in my hand. "Daddy bought those for me. He said he'd bring them when he came back." My stomach twisted. "When he came back from where?" I asked softly. She shrugged, her eyes lowering. "Mommy said he had important work. She said I should be patient and not cry." I didn't know what to say. My mind was spinning. Did Michael live a double life? Did Layla know who I was? Did she know about me at all? "Where is your mom?" I asked. The girl's lip trembled. She said someone scary was coming. She told me to hide here until Daddy arrived. My blood ran cold. Someone scary. Was that the man in the hallway? Was he following Michael? Or was he following me? I grabbed my phone. 3 more missed calls appeared. Unknown number. Then a voicemail. My hands shook as I pressed play. A man's voice spoke in a low whisper. "Emily, I know you found the storage unit. Listen carefully. You are in danger. Leave immediately. Take the child with you. Do not let anyone see you. I'll explain everything when I can. Please trust me." It was Michael's voice. But shaky. Afraid. Nothing like the calm, quiet man I married. My heart dropped. Why didn't he call from his real number? Why didn't he come himself? Why did he tell me to take the child? I stared at the girl. Layla. She kicked her tiny sandals nervously. "Emily," she whispered, trying my name as if she'd said it before. "Is Daddy coming?" I opened my mouth, then jumped as the loudspeaker in the hallway crackled. A voice boomed. "Security sweep in progress. All units must remain open. Anyone inside must step out immediately." My heart stopped. I peeked through the shelf. 2 security guards were walking down the hall. And behind them, the same man with the heavy footsteps followed, hands in his pockets. He wasn't security. He was looking for us. "Emily." Layla tugged my sleeve. "Mommy said that man was dangerous." I swallowed hard. My legs shook. My mind raced. I had only 2 choices. 1. Step out and pretend nothing was wrong, and risk Layla being taken. 2. Run deeper into the storage building, and hope we weren't trapped. Neither choice felt safe. "Emily, what do we do?" the little girl asked, voice cracking. I squeezed her hand. "We run." I pulled her toward the back of the unit where a small emergency exit door was half hidden behind stacks of furniture. The guards were getting closer. The man's shadow stretched longer. I shoved the door with all my strength. It didn't budge. I pushed again, harder, but something heavy blocked it from outside. Layla started crying silently, her tiny body shaking. Shoo, it's okay," I whispered, though nothing was okay. The footsteps were right outside our unit now. I heard keys jingling. Someone was unlocking our door. I pulled Layla behind a tall wardrobe, my heart beating so loudly I thought it would give us away. The metal door to Unit 27B rolled up slowly, inch by inch, light pouring in. And then a voice I recognized, one I had never expected to hear there, called out, "Emily, Emily, are you in here?" I froze. It wasn't Michael. It was a woman's voice. And not just any woman. It was the woman from the photograph, the one standing beside Michael, holding Layla. She stepped inside the unit. Her eyes scanned the room. "Emily," she said shakily, "please come out. You don't understand what's happening." Layla gripped my arm tighter. "Mommy," she whispered. My blood turned to ice. The woman turned sharply toward the sound. "Layla, baby, come here." But Layla pressed herself into me instead. "No," she whispered. "Mommy told me to hide from the bad people." The woman's voice cracked. Desperate. "I know, sweetheart. But things have changed. We have to leave now. Before he finds us." Before he finds us. The same he Layla had mentioned. The same he whose footsteps I had heard. The same he Michael warned me about. The woman took a cautious step toward us. "Emily, I know you hate me. I know you have questions. But please, please trust me." I didn't move. I didn't breathe. Then she whispered words that shattered me. "Michael didn't lie to you because he stopped loving you. He lied to keep you alive." My heart dropped so hard it felt like it broke. Layla clung to me. The woman reached out a shaking hand. "Please. All of us need to leave. Before he comes back." And then, from the hallway, the heavy footsteps returned. Slow. Clear. Getting closer. The woman's face went pale. "He's here." And the door behind her slammed shut. The door slammed so hard the metal walls shook. Layla gasped and buried her face against my side. The woman from the photograph, Layla's mother, whirled around and pressed her back to the door, breathing fast. "He found us," she whispered. "Emily, listen. Whatever happens, don't let him touch Layla." My heart thumped so hard it hurt. "Who is he?" I whispered. She looked at me, eyes wide with fear. "His name is..." Boom. A heavy fist pounded the metal door from the outside, cutting her off. The echo rattled every box in the room. "Open it," a deep voice roared. "I know you're all in there." Layla whimpered. "Mommy." The woman grabbed her daughter's arm gently. "Stay behind me, sweetheart." Then she looked at me. "Stay close to us. Don't run. If you run, he'll chase you." But every instinct screamed at me to run. I swallowed hard. "Michael, does he know we're here?" She nodded nervously. "Michael tried to warn us. He said this man would come if he didn't return in time." My head spun. Return from where? What was Michael involved in? Why was this man chasing his family? The pounding came again. Harder. Metal bent inward slightly. Layla's mother whispered, "We don't have much time." She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small black key fob. I frowned. "What's that?" "Michael gave it to me," she said. "He said to use it only if things got bad." "They're bad now," I said. She hesitated. "Worse than this." Suddenly, the pounding stopped. Silence. A heavier silence than before, like the air itself froze. Mommy," Layla whispered. "Shoo," her mother whispered. We all listened. A slow scraping sound began on the other side of the metal door. Metal against metal. Deliberate. Sharp. Like someone was dragging a tool across it. "He's cutting through," I whispered, horrified. The woman nodded. "He always finds a way. Always." My breath hitched. She pressed the key fob into my hand. "You hold it. If I tell you to press the button, press it. No matter what." "What happens if I press it?" I asked. She shook her head. "Just do it." My hand trembled around the small device. The scraping suddenly stopped. Then, a low chuckle echoed through the metal. A laugh so cold it made my skin crawl. "I can hear you," the man said. "3 voices worth of evil wrapped in one. 3 of you. Just open the door. Make this easy." Layla pressed her hands over her ears. Her mother squeezed my arm. "We have to move," she whispered. "There's another way out." She pulled a stack of boxes away from the back wall, revealing a narrow service door with rusted hinges. My hope flickered. We can escape. She shook her head. Not escape. Just delay him. Another boom rattled the front door. I grabbed Layla's hand, and we hurried toward the service exit. But halfway there, Layla's mother stopped abruptly. I turned. What's wrong? Her eyes widened as she stared at the handle of the service door. It was already unlocked. The latch hung loose. Someone had opened it recently. No, she whispered. No, 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 he's already been inside. Before I could react, the service door slowly creaked open on its own. A tall shadow filled the doorway. We froze. Layla's tiny hand squeezed mine so hard it hurt. The man stepped inside. He was taller than I imagined. Broad shoulders, black coat, cold eyes that searched the room like a predator. He smiled. A smile that wasn't human at all. Well, he said softly, looks like the family is finally together. Layla's mother stepped in front of us. Don't come closer, she warned. He raised an eyebrow. Or what? You'll run again. He took a deliberate step toward her. My fingers tightened around the key fob. Stay behind me, she whispered to us. Layla cried softly. Mommy, please. The man leaned his head. I just want what belongs to me. I shivered. What are you talking about? He looked directly at me. For starters, the documents your husband left behind. And the girl. My blood turned to ice. Layla's mother shouted. She's not yours. He smirked. We'll let the court decide that when I'm finished. His hand slid inside his coat. Layla's mother tensed. Emily, press the button. My thumb hovered over it. The man lunged forward. I pressed the button. Instantly, the lights in the entire storage facility flickered. A piercing alarm screamed through the building. The metal shutter at the front slammed open violently as if something had hit it with incredible force. The floor vibrated beneath us. The man stumbled, caught off guard. Run! Layla's mother yelled. She grabbed her daughter. I grabbed her arm. All three of us sprinted toward the front exit. Behind us, the man roared in rage. I didn't dare look back. We burst into the parking lot, gasping for air, freezing wind hitting our faces. But the moment felt too quiet, too open, too exposed. A black SUV screeched into the parking lot and stopped right in front of us. The passenger door swung open. A man inside shouted, "Get in now!" I froze. It was Michael. He looked nothing like the man who left for a business trip. His face was bruised. His clothes were torn. His eyes were full of panic. "Emily, Layla, get in," he yelled. Layla cried, "Daddy." We rushed forward. But before we reached the SUV, a sharp crack echoed behind us. A gunshot. Michael screamed, "Get down!" The gunshot cracked through the air like lightning. Michael dove out of the SUV, sliding across the pavement as he grabbed Layla's mother and pushed her down. "Get down!" he screamed again. I dropped to my knees and pulled Layla with me, shielding her tiny body with mine. She sobbed into my chest, shaking so hard I could feel each tremble through my bones. Another gunshot blasted past us, hitting the concrete pillar behind Michael. Sparks flew. The tall man from the storage unit stepped out of the shadows near a row of storage lockers, a gun glinting in his hand. He wasn't running. He wasn't hiding. He was walking toward us like he had all the time in the world. Michael shouted, "Emily, get Layla into the car." I pulled the crying girl toward the open SUV door. But Layla's mother grabbed my wrist. "No, get down." A third gunshot rang out. The back window of the SUV shattered into 1,000 glittering pieces. Michael fired back, ducking behind a metal trash bin. His jaw clenched, eyes blazing with something I'd never seen in him, raw rage. The tall man laughed, A deep echo that chilled my spine. You can't protect them, Michael, he said. You never could. Layla's mother whispered. Emily, he's not after you. He's after Layla. And whatever documents Michael hid. My throat tightened. What documents? She shook her head. There's no time. Michael yelled. Move. He sprinted toward us, grabbing my arm and yanking me forward. Get in. Get in now. Layla clung to his leg, crying, Daddy, I'm scared. Michael's voice cracked. I know, baby. I know. But Daddy's here. Daddy's got you. The tall man aimed again. Michael shoved Layla and me into the SUV, slammed the door, and jumped into the driver's seat. Layla's mother crawled across the back seat, holding her daughter tightly. The engine roared to life. Michael! The man shouted. Michael didn't look back. He slammed the accelerator. The SUV shot forward. Tires screeched. The tall man fired again. Glass exploded on the right side. Layla screamed. Michael shouted, Down! We all ducked as the SUV swerved wildly, speeding through the storage facility's parking lot and crashing through the exit gate. My heart thudded against my ribs, each beat sharp and painful. When we finally reached the main road, Michael made a sharp left turn and pressed his foot down harder. We're not safe, he muttered. He will follow us. Michael, Layla's mother said shakily, she needs to know. Emily deserves to know the truth. Michael gritted his teeth. Not now. I stared at both of them, my voice trembling. What truth? What is going on? Michael kept driving, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. His voice was low, urgent. Emily. I never left for a business trip. I swallowed. So where did you go? He exhaled shakily. I was running. From him? I asked. He nodded. Layla's mother muttered. We all were. My hands shook. Michael, why is he after us? Why is he after Layla? Michael's jaw tightened. Because she isn't just my daughter. I stared at Layla, the small girl huddled in her mother's lap. What does that mean? I whispered. Michael took a sharp breath. Because she's the only proof of who I really am. Layla's mother put a hand on my shoulder. He's not just Michael Carter. I felt dizzy. Then who is he? Michael said nothing at first. His eyes flicked to the rearview mirror. The tall man's black car appeared behind us. Fast. Closing the distance. Michael swore under his breath and sped up again. Then he answered, voice low. My real name isn't Michael Carter. It's Michael Reyes. I used to work for a private intelligence group. I stared at him, stunned. Layla's mother continued. And the tall man chasing us? He's part of a rival organization. He wants the classified documents Michael stole. And Layla. Why Layla? I choked out. Michael's voice wavered. Because she's my daughter. And she has the same encrypted genetic markers I do. They can use her to unlock the files I stole. My breath caught. They want to use a 5-year-old to access secret information? Michael's eyes glistened. Yes. They didn't care about her safety, or mine. So I ran. I hid her and her mother in a safe house. I thought you would be safe away from all this. I shook my head, tears burning my eyes. You lied to me. He swallowed hard. I did. But Emily, if you knew, you would have been in danger too. Layla's mother whispered. And now we all are. The black car drew closer. Closer. Michael grabbed something from the passenger seat, a second key fob, identical to the one I'd used earlier. Emily, he said, take Layla and get ready. For what? I cried. For when I tell you to jump. My stomach lurched. We're not jumping out of a moving car. You have to, he shouted. Her safety matters more than anything. Layla sobbed. Daddy, no. Michael's voice cracked. I love you, baby. Daddy loves you so much. The black car rammed the back of the SUV. The whole vehicle jolted. I screamed. Layla's mother clutched her daughter tighter. Michael yelled, "Emily, do not let her go." Another hit from behind. Glass shattered again. Michael pressed a button on the key fob. A loud beep sounded. The SUV's dashboard flashed. Armored protocol. Engaged. Metal shields slid across the windows just as another bullet struck the glass. We were trapped inside a metal box now. But safer. The car skidded wildly. Michael shouted, "Hold on." Tires screeched. A sharp turn. And then, a sudden, explosive crash. The SUV flipped. We tumbled. Screaming. Crashing into each other. Shattered glass. Metal twisting. The world spun upside down. We hit the ground with a violent thud. Everything went silent. My ears rang. The SUV lay upside down, smoke filling the air. Then, through the broken metal window, Boots stepped toward us. Slow. Heavy. Unhurried. The tall man's voice echoed outside the wrecked car. "It's over, Michael." Smoke pooled around us inside the overturned SUV. The metal creaked. Glass crackled under my hands. My vision blurred from the impact. "Emily." It was Michael's voice. Weak, strained. I blinked hard, trying to focus. He was hanging upside down in the driver's seat, blood dripping slowly from his forehead. His eyes struggled to stay open. "Emily, is Layla okay?" I twisted around. Layla was crying softly in her mother's arms. The woman, her face cut, hair tangled, held her daughter like a shield. "She's alive," I whispered. "We all are." A shadow moved outside. Boots. Those same heavy boots. Getting closer. Layla's mother pressed a hand to her daughter's ear. "Don't listen," she whispered. But we all heard the voice. "Michael," the tall man called out calmly, "you've caused enough trouble. Hand over the child, or I pull you out myself." Michael tried to unbuckle the seatbelt but winced in pain. "No. You're not taking her." The man sighed. "So stubborn." Metal screeched as he grabbed the edge of the shattered window and began pulling it wider with shocking strength. Layla screamed. "Stay back," I shouted. The man leaned down, his cold eyes staring into the wreckage. Smoke curled around him like he belonged to it. "There she is," he murmured, seeing Layla. "The key. The future." Layla sobbed harder, clinging to her mother. Michael groaned, trying again to twist free, but he was trapped, barely conscious. The tall man reached one hand inside the SUV. I froze. It felt like the whole world stopped breathing. Then, a loud click. The man jerked his hand back as something grazed his wrist, a red laser dot blinking on his skin. He looked up sharply. A voice boomed from somewhere behind him. "Federal agent. Step away from the vehicle." For the first time since we met him, the tall man's expression changed, annoyance flickering in his eyes. Two black SUVs screeched onto the scene, tires smoking. Armed agents poured out, weapons raised. "On the ground," one shouted. Layla's mother gasped. "They found us." Michael's breathing hitched. "No, no, no. Emily, listen, those aren't my agents." "What?" I whispered. The tall man smirked. "You thought you were saved? Oh, Michael, you really don't know who you can trust anymore." The armed agents moved in exactly his direction, not to arrest him, but to form a protective circle around him. My heart dropped into my stomach. One agent shouted, "Target located." Another pointed at our SUV. "Retrieve the child." Layla's mother screamed. "No, you can't take her." I wrapped both arms around Layla as she sobbed into my chest, trembling uncontrollably. Her mother tried to shield us both with her body. Michael coughed violently, his voice barely a whisper. "Emily, you have to run. Take her. Run when I say." We can't run, I cried. We're trapped in here. He looked at me, really looked, and for the first time I saw pure fear in his eyes. Emily, they want her because of me. Because of the files. Because she's part of the code. Michael, stop. Emily, he rasped. I'm begging you. Protect her. The SUV shook violently as agents approached from all sides. One agent shouted, "Thermal cutters ready." Two men aimed blowtorches at the metal shield covering our door. Flames ignited. White sparks rained down. Michael shouted with all the strength he had left. "Emily, take Layla and go." "But where?" I cried. He coughed, blood staining his lips. "There's a hatch under the back seat. Emergency exit. I installed it. Use it." Layla's mother's eyes widened. "You never told me about that." "No time." Michael gasped. "Save her." The agents' blowtorches hissed louder. The metal glowed orange. They were seconds away from cutting through. I unclipped my seatbelt, ignoring the pain shooting up my side. Layla's mother and I shoved aside broken glass and leaned down. There, beneath the overturned back seat, a hidden latch. I yanked it. A small hatch popped open, revealing a narrow escape tunnel built into the SUV's chassis. A secret Michael had never told me. Never told anyone. Layla's mother whispered fiercely. "Get her through." Layla whimpered. "Mommy, I don't want to go." "You have to, sweetheart," her mother whispered, voice breaking. "We'll be right behind you." A loud bang sounded as one agent slammed the SUV with something heavy. "We're coming," he shouted. "Stand back." Michael struggled to free himself but couldn't. "Emily, now." With shaking hands, I guided Layla into the black tunnel. She crawled forward, crying softly. I turned back. "Come on," I told her mother. But she didn't move. She stared at the hatch, then at Michael, then at Layla disappearing into the darkness. Tears streamed down her face. She shook her head. "I'm not leaving him." "What?" "We have to go together." She grabbed my arm. "Emily, please protect my daughter." Another blow from outside. Metal peeled away like paper. Seconds left. "G.O.," she screamed. "Now." Her voice cracked like thunder. I crawled into the hatch after Layla, the space tight and dark. Above me, agents began forcing their way in. I heard Michael shout, "Stay safe, Emily. Take care of her." I heard Layla's mother whisper, "I love you both." Then, a deafening blast. A flash of white. A roar of metal. Dust and heat surged through the tunnel, knocking me forward as Layla screamed. I shielded her as debris rained behind us. When the echoes faded, I realized. The SUV had exploded, and neither Michael nor Layla's mother was moving anymore. Tears blurred my sight, but I pulled Layla forward, crawling through the smoke-filled escape tunnel. Behind us, men shouted, boots pounding, searching. We crawled faster. Toward the faint light at the end. Toward a freedom that suddenly felt impossible. The escape tunnel shook as another shockwave rolled through it. Dust filled my lungs. Layla coughed beside me, her little hands clutching the tunnel floor. "It's okay," I whispered, though nothing was okay. "Just keep crawling, sweetheart. Please, keep going." Behind us, echoes of shouting grew louder, agents searching through the wreckage. "We need the child alive," one man yelled. Alive. That word hit me like ice. It meant they weren't giving up. Layla whimpered. "Emily, my mommy, my daddy." I swallowed hard, forcing back tears. "I know, baby. I know." But I couldn't say they were gone. Not yet. Not while we were fighting to survive. The tunnel eventually sloped downward and opened into a small maintenance room under the storage building. Rusty pipes crisscrossed the ceiling. A metal grate covered the only exit. I pushed against the grate. It didn't move. I shoved harder. Still nothing. Footsteps echoed above us. Layla clung to my arm. Emily. They're coming. I know, I whispered. I rammed my shoulder into the grate again. It groaned. Once more. This time, it cracked open just enough for Layla to slip through. Go, I whispered. She crawled out first. I pushed the grate wider, scraping my arms as I squeezed through. As soon as we were both out, I pulled the grate back into place. The voices above faded slightly. I grabbed Layla's hand. Stay close. Don't let go. We ran. The maintenance room led to a narrow back hallway. At the end was a heavy metal door marked Emergency Exit. I pushed it. Locked. Layla started crying again. Emily, please. I threw my weight against the door. No use. My hands trembled. My breath shook. Panic clawed at my chest. Then, footsteps. Behind us. Closer. Clearer. Multiple sets. Split up. Check the tunnels, a voice ordered. I spun around desperately, searching. A red emergency box hung on the wall. Inside, a fire extinguisher, a wrench, and a small red safety hammer. I smashed the glass, grabbed the wrench, and jammed it into the emergency exit's latch. Metal screeched as I twisted, my arms burning from the effort. Come on, come on. Footsteps grew louder. Over here, someone yelled. Layla screamed. Emily, hurry. I twisted harder. The latch snapped open. The metal door flew outward. Cold air rushed over us. Without thinking, I scooped Layla into my arms and ran outside into an alley behind the facility. The sky was turning orange. Early evening. Sirens wailed in the distance. Helicopters thudded in the air. The town was waking up to chaos. I didn't stop running. We ducked behind dumpsters, fences, a line of parked cars, anything to stay hidden. Layla breathed fast against my shoulder, shaking uncontrollably. Finally, we reached a quiet side street. For a moment, just one, there was silence. Layla whispered, Emily, where are we going? I crouched beside her, brushing dust from her hair. We're going somewhere safe. Where? She asked. I hesitated. I had no idea. But Layla didn't need fear. She needed strength. So I forced a smile. You'll see. But we have to keep moving. She nodded, wiping her tears. I stood up. And froze. A black sedan turned the corner behind us. My heart stopped. Emily, Layla said quietly. That's his car. No thinking. No hesitating. Just survival. I grabbed her hand and pulled her into a narrow walkway between two buildings. We ran. Through weeds. Over broken pavement. Past abandoned bicycles. Past cracked windows. Until we reached a quiet playground at the edge of a small neighborhood. The swings creaked in the wind. The slide was rusted. No children in sight. We hid behind the slide. My chest burned. My legs trembled. Layla whispered, Emily, is that man going to find us? I won't let him, I said softly. But my voice wavered. She looked up at me with those big, scared eyes. Mommy said you're good. She said to trust you. Something inside me broke. I hugged her tightly, my tears finally falling. Then, a soft chime. My phone. My stomach twisted as I looked at the screen. One new text message. From unknown number. I hesitated, then opened it. Emily. I'm alive. I need you to listen carefully. They took her. They took my wife. But I saw you escape with Layla. Good. Keep her safe. And Emily. You are not alone in this. Someone is coming to help you. Trust him. His name is... ****. The message cut off. My heart dropped. Another text appeared immediately. Turn around. I whipped my head around. A man stood at the edge of the playground. Tall. Dark jacket. Hands raised slowly to show he wasn't armed. Layla gasped and clutched my shirt. Emily. Who is that? I didn't answer. My pulse pounded in my ears. The man stepped forward. Emily Carter? He asked in a calm voice. My name is Agent Cole Hayes. I'm not with them. Layla whispered. Mommy said not to trust anyone. I stepped in front of her. Cole Hayes stopped a few feet away. I know you're scared, he said. But if they find you first, they'll take Layla. And they'll kill you. His eyes were steady. Emily. I'm the only one who can get you both out of this alive. I didn't move. Then he slowly reached into his jacket pocket. Layla tensed. I held my breath. He pulled out a small black USB drive. Michael wanted you to have this, he said. It contains everything. Every truth he couldn't tell you. My breath caught in my throat. USB drive. Information. Secrets. Everything suddenly felt heavier. Cole Hayes extended his hand. Come with me, he said softly. If you don't, they'll find you in minutes. Layla gripped my hand tightly. My mind raced. Trust him. Run. Hide. Every choice felt deadly. Then, behind us, a distant engine roar. The black sedan was coming down the street. Cole Hayes whispered urgently. Emily. Now. The roar of the engine grew louder behind us. The black sedan turned onto the street. Fast, too fast. Layla whimpered and pressed herself against me. Agent Cole Hayes kept his hands raised, eyes locked on mine. Emily, he said, voice calm but urgent. You either come with me now, or that man will have you both within 60 seconds. My heart pounded. Every instinct screamed don't trust him, but the sedan was already speeding toward the playground. I grabbed Layla's hand. Come on. Agent Hayes spun around. This way. We sprinted across the playground, feet pounding over dead leaves and gravel. My lungs burned. Layla stumbled, but I scooped her up and kept running. The black sedan skidded to a stop beside the swings. The tall man stepped out. Emily, he shouted, voice echoing like thunder. You can't run forever. Agent Hayes shoved open a side gate leading into a narrow alley. Go, go, go. We ran. The sedan's door slammed. Footsteps thundered behind us. We dashed through the alley, turning sharply into a quiet back street lined with old garages. Hayes led us to a dark gray car parked awkwardly behind a dumpster. He unlocked it with a beep. Get in. I hesitated. How do I know? You don't, he cut in. But that man won't hesitate to kill you. Your husband trusted me. That has to be enough. Layla tugged my sleeve. Emily. I'm scared. I swallowed my fear and shoved her into the back seat. I climbed in after her. Hayes jumped in the driver's seat and slammed the door. The engine roared. Just as Hayes pulled forward, the tall man sprinted out of the alley, gun raised. Go! I screamed. Hayes hit the gas. A gunshot cracked. The back window shattered. Glass rained onto the seats. Layla cried, covering her ears. Hayes swerved violently. Hold on. The car sped across the neighborhood, turning sharply onto the main road. My heart hammered as I looked back. The black sedan was chasing us already. He won't stop, I whispered. No, Hayes said. He won't. After several tense minutes of high-speed driving, Hayes turned sharply into an underground parking garage beneath a shopping complex. He parked in a dark corner and killed the engine. We can't stay long, he said. But you both need air. And answers. I held Layla close, rubbing her arms to calm her trembling. Start talking, I demanded. Who are you? Who is that man? And what is really going on with Michael? Hayes turned in his seat, eyes steady. My name really is Agent Cole Hayes. I work with a neutral intelligence unit, one that doesn't belong to any country. We monitor rogue agents, stolen technology, and illegal genetic encryption research. My stomach tightened. Genetic encryption, like what Michael mentioned. Hayes nodded. Your husband, Michael Reyes, didn't just work for an intelligence group. He helped create a new form of encrypted storage using something unbreakable. What? I whispered. Hayes pointed gently to Layla. Human DNA. My breath caught. Hayes continued softly. Layla carries a rare genetic sequence. Michael used it to encode highly classified information another organization wants very badly. Layla curled into my side, silently crying. Her mother's last words echoed in my mind. Please protect my daughter. But why hide all this from me? I demanded. Why didn't Michael tell me the truth? Hayes sighed. Because anyone close to him was in danger, and he didn't want to drag you into the mess, unless he had no choice. Layla grabbed my hand, her voice trembling. Emily, what will they do to me? I hugged her tight. Nothing. I promise. Hayes nodded. That's why I'm here. Michael contacted me after everything went wrong. He trusted you, Emily. He believed, if anything happened to him, you'd protect Layla. Tears burned behind my eyes. Michael, even while lying, hiding and running, believed in me? Before I could speak, Hayes pulled out the small USB drive he'd shown earlier. This contains the unencrypted part of the files. Michael prepared it for you. He wanted you to know everything. My hands shook as I held it. What's on it? Hayes hesitated. A map, a video message, and a location where we can finish decrypting the files safely. And then what? I whispered. His expression darkened. Then we stop the man chasing you. Layla whispered. He killed my mommy. Hayes closed his eyes for a moment. I'm sorry, sweetheart. The silence weighed heavily. Then Hayes spoke again. We need to move. He'll track the car. He opened the glove compartment and handed me an envelope. Your husband left this for you too. My heart dropped. I opened the envelope with trembling hands. Inside was a handwritten letter. Michael's handwriting. Emily, if you're reading this, it means everything I feared has happened. I'm sorry for the lies. I'm sorry for the life I hid from you. But I never stopped loving you. Please protect Layla. She's innocent in all this. Trust Agent Hayes. And Emily, if I don't make it out alive, tell her I loved her. Tell her I tried. The letter ended abruptly, stained with something dark. Maybe blood. My throat tightened. Layla looked up at me. What did Daddy say? I wiped my eyes. He said he loves you. More than anything. She rested her head on my shoulder. Hayes checked his watch. Time's up. We need to leave now. But before he could turn the key, a loud metallic crash echoed through the garage. Hayes froze. I froze. Layla whimpered. Another crash. Like something heavy being pushed. Then, the unmistakable sound of footsteps. Slow, heavy, echoing across the concrete. Hayes grabbed his gun. Stay down. We all ducked. The footsteps got closer. Closer. Then, a calm voice filled the garage. Emily, you really should stop running. The tall man. He was here. Hayes whispered. Don't move. The footsteps stopped right behind our car. Inches away. My heart slammed so hard I felt dizzy. Then the tall man said quietly, You think Hayes can save you? He can't even save himself. Hayes stiffened. I grabbed Layla and held her tight. Then, a loud click. A weapon being cocked. Agent Hayes, the tall man said. Step out of the vehicle. Alone. Hayes didn't move. Layla trembled. I felt my breath disappear. The tall man's voice became colder. If you don't come out right now, I'll start with the girl. And everything inside me cracked. Layla buried her face in my shirt as the tall man's voice echoed through the garage. Agent Hayes, come out, or the girl pays for your hesitation. Hayes' jaw clenched. He didn't look at me. He didn't look at Layla. His eyes were fixed on the windshield, breathing fast but steady. He doesn't bluff, Hayes whispered. If he said he'll hurt her, he means it. My heart pounded so loudly I felt every beat in my throat. Then don't go, I whispered. He shook his head. If I don't, we're all dead. He slowly reached for the door handle. Layla whimpered. Emily, please don't let him take me. I held her tighter. I won't. I promise. Hayes paused before pushing the door open and turned to me. When I get out, lock the doors. Don't move until I give the signal. What signal? I whispered. You'll know it. He forced a grim, tense smile, one that wasn't reassuring at all. Then he opened the door and stepped out. Outside the car, Hayes raised his hands slowly as he stood beside the vehicle. I'm here, he said. The tall man, a dark silhouette from behind a concrete pillar, stepped forward with eerie calm. His gun was steady, pointed right at Hayes' head. And now, the tall man said, you're going to hand over everything Michael gave you. Hayes didn't blink. He gave it to Emily. Not me. The man laughed softly. That's fine. I'll get it from her when I'm done with you. My stomach twisted painfully. Walk toward me, the man ordered. Hayes took a step. Then another. Layla clutched my arm, trembling. Emily, is he going to die? I swallowed hard. I don't know. When Hayes was only a few feet away, the tall man stopped him. Where are they? Safe, Hayes answered. You won't find them. The man smiled coldly. Agent Hayes, I already have found them. He lifted a small object in his hand, a phone. My phone. My stomach dropped. He must have picked it up after the crash. Emily, he called out loudly. His voice bounced across the walls. I know you're in the car. I know you're watching. The blood drained from my face. Hayes turned quickly, panic flashing in his eyes. Don't respond, he shouted. The tall man whipped the gun across Hayes' face. A brutal strike. Hayes fell to the ground with a grunt, blood splattering the concrete. Layla gasped, squeezing her eyes shut. I covered her ears. The tall man crouched beside Hayes. You should have stayed hidden, he murmured. But no, you had to play hero. He stepped on Hayes' hand, grinding his boot down. Hayes winced but stayed silent. The tall man tilted his head. I'll give you one more chance. Where is the girl? Hayes coughed blood, then said through clenched teeth. Right behind you. The tall man froze. In that split second, Hayes rolled away, grabbed the metal pipe lying on the floor, and slammed it into the man's ankle. The tall man stumbled. Hayes leapt up, ramming his shoulder into him, pushing him into a concrete pillar. Now, Emily! Hayes yelled. I didn't know what the signal was supposed to be, but that shout was enough. I grabbed Layla and shoved open the opposite back door. Run! I screamed. We sprinted across the garage toward a stairwell door. Behind us, gunshots exploded. Metal sparked. Hayes grunted in pain. Layla cried. Emily, hurry! We reached the stairwell. I yanked the door open and pushed Layla inside. We dashed down the steps, spiraling toward the lower level. Then, a voice thundered above us. Emily! You can't hide forever. The tall man was coming. Fast. I grabbed Layla's hand tighter and ran faster. We reached the bottom of the stairwell and burst out into a long maintenance hallway under the garage. Pipes dripped from the ceiling. The air smelled like oil and metal. What do we do? Layla cried. We keep moving, I said. But as we ran, a figure appeared at the far end of the hallway. My heart stopped. It wasn't Agent Hayes. It wasn't the tall man. It was Michael. Layla gasped. Daddy. I froze, stunned. He looked like a ghost. Pale, bruised, limping, but alive. Emily. Layla. Thank God, he whispered. Tears filled my eyes instantly. But then, footsteps thundered down the stairs behind us. Michael's expression changed instantly. Come here, he yelled. Hurry. We ran to him. He scooped Layla into his aching arms and grabbed my wrist with his other hand. We have to go, he said urgently. What about Hayes? I cried. Michael clenched his jaw. He bought us time. That's all we can hope for now. We ran together down the hallway. But before we reached the exit door, the tall man's voice echoed behind us, closer than ever. Michael. You can't run this time. My heart dropped. Michael pushed Layla into my arms. Emily, take her. Keep going. What about you? I cried. He wants me, Michael said. Not you. No. Layla screamed. Daddy, don't leave. Michael cupped her cheek. I will always love you. But right now, I have to stop him from hurting you. Then, he turned. Slowly. Facing the darkness of the hallway. Facing the monster who had chased him for years. The tall man stepped into view, gun raised. Michael didn't flinch. He lifted his empty hands. It ends tonight, Michael said. The man smirked. Oh, it does. Before I could scream. Before Layla could beg. The tall man pulled the trigger. A single, echoing gunshot. And Michael fell. I screamed so loudly it tore my throat. Layla fainted in my arms. Michael lay on the cold concrete, unmoving. The tall man stepped closer, calm, almost satisfied. And then he looked directly at me. Emily, you're next. Emily, you're next. Those words froze my blood. Layla lay unconscious in my arms, her little head resting against my shoulder. My legs trembled so hard I thought they would collapse under me. Behind the tall man, Michael's body lay on the floor, still silent. I wanted to run to him. I wanted to shake him awake. I wanted this nightmare to end. But the tall man took another step forward. Hand the girl over, he said coldly. She's the key. You are disposable. My breath shook. No. He raised the gun toward my face. I clutched Layla tighter. He sighed. You're making this harder than it needs to be. Footsteps echoed behind him. Slow, unhurried. Like he knew he had already won. I backed up, my hand searching blindly for the maintenance door behind me. I needed to escape. I needed to protect Layla, even if I died doing it. But before I reached the door, the tall man lifted the gun higher. Goodbye, Emily. A gunshot exploded, but not from him. He jerked to the side as a bullet tore through his jacket sleeve. Drop the weapon, a voice roared. Agent Hayes. I nearly collapsed in relief. He limped into view, his face bruised, shirt torn, blood dripping from his arm. He looked like he had fought 10 battles in 10 minutes. But he was alive. And he was armed. Hayes aimed his gun steadily. Step away from her. The tall man snarled. You again. I'm hard to kill, Hayes grunted. They faced each other, two predators in a narrow, dimly lit hallway. Hayes shouted without looking at me. Emily, move. Get to the exit. I staggered backward, holding Layla close. But the tall man lunged toward me. Hayes fired again. The bullet grazed the tall man's shoulder. He roared in pain but didn't stop. Hayes ran forward, tackling him against the wall. Their guns skidded across the floor. The tall man slammed Hayes into the concrete. Hayes elbowed him in the jaw. The tall man grabbed Hayes' throat, lifting him slightly off the ground. Hayes gasped for air, clawing at his wrist. I wanted to help him. I wanted to fight. But Layla was unconscious, and she was all I had to protect. I backed away toward the exit door. Emily, go. Hayes choked out. I pushed the door. It didn't budge. I pushed again. Still stuck. I looked back. Hayes was weakening. The tall man's grip tightened. Veins bulged in Hayes' neck. His eyes fluttered. No, I whispered. No, no, no. The tall man growled. I told you, you can't save them. Hayes reached into his pocket slowly. The tall man didn't notice. Hayes pulled out a small silver pen-like device. He clicked the top. A sharp electric crackle filled the air. The device jabbed into the tall man's neck. Electricity surged. The tall man convulsed violently and crashed to the floor. Hayes collapsed with him, gasping for breath. I scrambled toward Hayes. Are you okay? He coughed hard. I will be. Get the door. I pushed the maintenance door again. This time it opened with a loud scrape. Cold air and street noises rushed in. I turned back for Hayes. But he shook his head. No. Go. More of his team will come. You need to get Layla out of here. But what about you? I cried. He wiped blood from his lip. I'll hold them off as long as I can. Tears blurred my sight. Hayes, thank you. He managed a weak smile. Just keep that kid alive. For Michael. I held Layla tightly and slipped out through the door. Outside. In the alley. Night had fully fallen. The city lights blurred through my tears. Layla stirred weakly in my arms. Emily, she whispered faintly. Where's Daddy? My chest shattered. He's resting, sweetheart, I whispered. But we need to keep going. She nodded sleepily, trusting me completely. I tucked her against me and hurried down the alley. But as I stepped onto the main street, a black van screeched around the corner. My heart dropped. Not again. Not another chase. Not another trap. I turned to run, but a voice called from the van. Emily. Wait. The van door flew open. A woman jumped out, hands raised. I froze. She wasn't dressed like an agent. She wasn't armed. She looked confused, terrified, but determined. Emily, she said breathlessly, I'm Dr. Natalie Brooks. Michael sent me. I blinked. What? She pointed urgently to the USB drive in my pocket. I'm the one who created the encryption in Michael's files. The one he trusted most. I can decrypt it. But only if Layla's safe. Layla lifted her head weakly. Emily. Who is she? I swallowed. Someone who says she can help. Dr. Brooks nodded. Please. We need to leave now. That man won't be down for long. I hesitated. Every nerve in my body was screaming. Don't trust her. Don't trust anyone. But Layla was fading in my arms. Her breathing shaky. Her skin pale. Dr. Brooks stepped closer. She needs medical attention. I can help her. But we must go. How do I know you're not lying? I said. She held up a folded paper. A note. Michael told me to give you this. He said you would believe it. I unfolded it, hands trembling. Michael's handwriting stared back at me. Emily. If you see Dr. Brooks, go with her. She's our only hope. Trust her with Layla. Finish what I couldn't. Michael. My knees nearly buckled. Layla murmured weakly. Emily, please. I don't feel good. Dr. Brooks extended her arms carefully. Let me help her. I held Layla tighter. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. One choice. One moment. One decision that could save us, or destroy us. Dr. Brooks whispered. Emily, choose. Right now. I stepped forward. Dr. Natalie Brooks held her hands out gently, waiting. Not pushing. Not forcing. Just waiting. Layla's breathing grew weaker against my shoulder. Her skin felt cold. Her eyelids fluttered. "Emily," she whispered, barely audible. "My tummy hurts." Panic squeezed my chest. She needed help. Real help. I looked at Dr. Brooks. Her eyes were steady, filled with worry. Not calculation. Not greed. But genuine concern. Behind us, sirens wailed in the distance. Somewhere deeper in the garage, a furious roar echoed. The tall man was waking up. I had seconds left to choose. I stepped forward. "Help her," I whispered. Dr. Brooks nodded, relieved. She took Layla carefully from my arms, cradling her with surprising tenderness. "We need to get her to the safe house," she said. "There's a facility there where I can treat her and decrypt the files." She guided me into the van. I sat beside Layla, holding her tiny hand. Dr. Brooks jumped into the driver's seat and slammed the door. "Hold on," she said. The van sped off into the night. The city lights blurred past us. The van swerved through narrow streets, twisting turns, hidden backroads, paths only someone with insider knowledge would know. I kept my eyes on Layla. Her breathing was shallow. Her pulse faint. Her small fingers curled tightly around mine. "Stay with me," I whispered. "Stay with me, baby. Please." Dr. Brooks spoke without turning around. "She's reacting to stress. Massive adrenaline drop. And she might be experiencing early signs of a neural lockout." "What does that mean?" "It means," Dr. Brooks said grimly, "the genetic encryption inside her is starting to activate." My heart sank. Activate? Why would it activate? "It responds to danger, trauma, fear." She glanced at us through the mirror. "If it fully triggers, her brain could shut down." I held Layla closer. "No, no, no, no. We'll stop it," Dr. Brooks said. "The safe house is close." She pressed harder on the accelerator. Behind us. Far behind but growing closer. Headlights appeared. My stomach dropped. The tall man. He had backup now. "Faster!" I cried. "I'm trying." Dr. Brooks snapped, panic cracking her voice for the first time. The van skidded around a corner, nearly tipping. Layla whimpered. We burst into a dark forest road. Trees blurred on both sides. Then, a metal gate appeared ahead. Dr. Brooks tapped a code on her phone. The gate groaned open. We drove in. The gate slammed shut just as several cars turned into the forest behind us. We'd barely made it. The building didn't look like a medical facility. It looked like an abandoned cabin deep in the woods. But inside, high-tech screens, medical equipment humming softly, security systems blinking on every wall. Dr. Brooks placed Layla on a padded table. "Emily, stay by her head. Talk to her. Keep her awake." I stroked her hair. "I'm right here, sweetheart. I'm not going anywhere." Dr. Brooks injected a small vial into a machine, then attached tiny monitors to Layla's temples. "She's fighting it," she said. "She's strong, just like Michael." Tears blurred my vision. "I should have protected her better," I whispered. "You've done more than anyone," Dr. Brooks said firmly. "You kept her alive." The machines beeped faster. Layla winced. Her breath hitched. "Emily," she whispered weakly. "I'm scared." "I know, baby. But you're safe now. I promise." Dr. Brooks tapped a screen. "Starting neural reset." A soft pulse flowed through the room. Layla gasped. Then went still. Not unconscious. Not awake. Just still. My heart stopped. "Is she okay?" I panicked. "She will be," Dr. Brooks said. "This is the reset cycle." Seconds felt like hours. Then, a small flutter. Layla blinked. Her chest rose in a soft, steady breath. She whispered, "Emily." I burst into tears. "You're okay. You're okay." Dr. Brooks smiled with relief. We stabilized her. I kissed Layla's forehead, letting the tears fall freely. But our relief didn't last long. A loud alarm blared. Dr. Brooks' face drained of color. He found us. The door to the safe house exploded inward. The tall man stormed in, gun raised, face twisted with fury. His coat ripped. His shoulder bleeding. His eyes wild. He pointed the gun at Dr. Brooks. "Step away from the girl." Dr. Brooks stood firm. "No." He pointed the gun at me. "You should have died back there." I stood in front of Layla, blocking her with my body. "You'll have to go through me," I said, voice trembling but strong. He smirked. "Gladly." A gunshot rang out. But not his. A second shot echoed from the doorway. The tall man jerked backward, shock on his face. He turned slowly. Behind him stood Michael. Alive. Barely standing. Bruised. Bleeding. Limping. But alive. Gun in hand. "Get away from my family," Michael growled. The tall man laughed weakly. "You should be dead." Michael fired again. A direct shot to the man's chest. The tall man fell to the floor. Silent. Motionless. It was over. Michael collapsed. I ran to him and caught him before he hit the ground. "Emily," he whispered. "Is she okay?" "She's safe," I said through tears. "She's safe because of you." He smiled faintly. Layla stretched out her arms. "Daddy." He kissed her hand gently. "I'm here, baby." Dr. Brooks checked his wounds, shaking her head. "You're a miracle, Michael. A very stubborn miracle." He laughed softly, then winced. But he was alive. Layla was alive. We were alive. Later, when the safe house was secure and reinforcements from Hayes Network arrived, Michael and I sat beside Layla's bed. There was no more running. No more secrets. No more lies. Michael held my hand. "I never wanted this life for you," he whispered. "All for her." "I know," I said softly. He leaned his head against mine. "Emily, can you ever forgive me?" I looked at Layla, sleeping peacefully for the first time in days. Then back at the man who broke my heart. "To protect it. I don't know how long it will take," I said. "But I'm willing to try." He nodded, eyes shining. "That's enough." Weeks later, we left the safe house behind. The enemy was gone. Michael's files were decrypted and destroyed. Layla was safe, her mother honored as a hero in silence. We moved far away. New names, new home, new life. But every night, when the world was quiet, I remembered the moment that started everything. My husband left for business. But I found the real reason he was gone all along. And that truth changed my life forever. Before you leave, please don't forget to like this video if it touched your heart, subscribe for more emotional and powerful stories, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. And tell me in the comments, which part of the world are you watching from? Your support keeps this channel alive. Yellow heart. Thank you for being here. See you in the next story.